Okay, so we're going to be talking about our herding group. So our name of breed is going to go on the left-hand side of our paper, and then we've got health concerns as well as characteristics of the breed. So we are talking about herding group today. So I've got in my ID quiz resources two different articles, one about training a herding dog and the other about why border collies bite children. So we often see this complaint. So here is a fascinating article for you about it. And then we've got our Quizlet set for our herding group. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The first dog in this group that we're going to be talking about is the Australian cattle dog. So we have the Australian cattle dog. Their health concerns, there's going to be hip dysplasia, patella luxation, protosystemic shunts, which is some heart issues, progressive retinal atrophy, and then genetic deafness. So appearance, they have a very smooth yet dense coat. Blue coat can be solid, mottled, or speckled, and that blue again is a gray kind of color. And we can have with or without black and tan markings. They do live for about 12 to 14 years, and their size 17 to 20 inches at the withers. And remember, those withers are those shoulders. Weight, depending male to female, is 44 to 62 pounds. And then we have our Australian cattle dog right there. So we have that nice blue coat. We have tan markings on the feet, and then we do have tails for this one. So that's going to be a great way to distinguish between Australian cattle dogs and then our next, which is just an Australian Shepherd. So we have our Australian Shepherd next. Hip dysplasia again, eye diseases, sensitivity to certain drugs. They also are prone to epilepsy. Appearance is going to be deep, narrow-chested. Coat is medium length around the body, but short around the head and the ears. And they have what's called a merle coat. It has dark blotches against a lighter background. Their lifespan is about 12 to 16 years, and size is about 18 to 23 inches at the withers, and their weight, again depending male to female, is anywhere from 35 to 65 pounds. And so here we have, there is just we dock their tails. So that's going to be one of those distinguishing features for the Australian Shepherd. But so we can see that merle, so we have a nice gray light background and then those black spots. Next we have our Border Collie. So Border Collie is definitely the most, one of the most well-known breeds in this group. They are again going to have hip dysplasia. They have something called Collie eye anomaly. It can be a minor to serious illness, just kind of depending on the severity of your dog. They are also prone to epilepsy. Appearance, so they can be solid or tricolor. Maryland Sable, we may have erect to semi-erect ears, rough or smooth coat, but there is going to be feathering on that posterior of the limbs. So because there's just so much differentiation between the breed, we definitely have selectively bred different traits that we desire in these, which is why you're going to see such a variance in their color and coat. Lifespan is anywhere from 12 to 16 years, about 18 to 22 inches at the withers, and they should be actually a little bit slimmer, about 30 to 45 pounds. So here we have our Border Collie, and that is kind of our standard. When we think of Border Collies, most of us will think of that black and white. Okay. Next, we have just a Collie. So for those of you that like to watch old classic TV, you may have heard of a TV show called Lassie. This was a Collie. So health concerns is a multiple drug sensitivity, Collie eye anomaly, epilepsy, and bloat. Collies are fairly large, and so they do have a very deep barrel chest, which causes that bloat to be a little bit more prevalent. They have a rough or smooth long coat, sable and white tricolor, or also blue merle. Lifespan is about 10 to 14 years. They are about 22 to 26 inches at the withers, and their weight is about 50 to 70 pounds. So here we have that beautiful sable coat right there, and that nice length of that fur coat. So lots of high maintenance for us for a collie. Next, we have our German Shepherd dog, and technically, yes, German Shepherd are German Shepherd dogs, or you might see them shorthand at GSD. So our German Shepherd dogs, hip dysplasia, generative myelopathy, which is a slow paralysis of the hindquarters. They are prone to heart disease, epilepsy, vision issues, bleeding disorders, also different immune disorders, digestive issues, and hemangiosarcomas, which is tumors of the blood vessels. Because we have such a lots of pure breeding, right? We start to see more extensive issues when we have more narrow of a genetic diversity with dogs. So we definitely are going to see that with our German Shepherd dog. The hip dysplasia in United States, we breed our German Shepherd dogs with that dip in the hips. In Europe, they do not. So it's an interesting difference. But we can do a test now. We can do radiographs on pups to identify hip dysplasia. Appearance, they can be sable, solid black and tan, deep-chested, ears open to the front. You can even have a white German Shepherd dog. Lifespan is only about 10 to 13 years because they're so large. Your size is going to be 22 to 26 inches at the withers and weight anywhere from 50 to 90 pounds. So here we have our German Shepherd dog, right? That's our nice typical sable color with the black saddle and our tan. Next we have is an Old English Sheepdog. So Old English Sheepdogs are herding dogs, right? Health concerns, hip dysplasia, eye conditions, hypothyroidism, neurological disease, cancers, and they are also prone to drug reactions. So appearance is a lovely shaggy double coat. They're in shades of gray to blue merle with or without white markings. They do have lovely lop ears and a very large square head. So these dogs are only going to live for about 10 to 12 years, and they are about 21 plus inches at the withers, anywhere from 60 to 100 pounds. And so here we have our lovely Old English Sheepdog. Next we have a Pembroke Welsh Corgi. So they are herding dogs as well. We are going to see that Wildbran's disease, intervertebral disc disease because of those long spines, hip dysplasia, eye issues, and hypothyroidism as well. Appearance, they can have a medium length coat, large erect ears. They can be in red, sable, fawn, or black and tan markings. And they have a lifespan about 12 to 14 years, and their size is about 10 to 12 inches at the withers. They should honestly be a little bit on the slimmer side at 25 to 30 pounds. So here we have our Welsh Pembroke Corgi. Next, we have our Shetland Sheepdog. You'll also hear these referred to as Shelties. So Shetland Sheepdog, they have a large number of eye diseases, congenital deafness, hip dysplasia, elbow luxation, hypothyroidism, and heart defects. They get that elbow luxation because they are on the smaller end of the breeds. Parents, their hair on their tail is profuse, so they have lots and lots and lots of hair on that tail. They could be tricolored, mottled gray, black, or solid black. They live about 12 to 14 years. They're only going to be 13 to 16 inches at the withers, and they are less than 30 pounds. So here we have, it looks like a mini collie, but so these are your Shetland Sheepdogs, right? So it's Shelties. And there we have it.